Good afternoon, good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to episode 79 of the Leading IT Podcast. Our podcast is for Australian IT leaders. If you want to cut through the noise on AI, cybersecurity, data, cloud and infrastructure, strategy and leadership, I'm your host, Josh Rubin, CEO at Imperial IT, and I'm joined by CIO Tom Layden, and we tackle the fast-moving IT landscape from both sides of the fence with pragmatic advice you can actually use. And this episode, we're going to discuss a hot topic, which is Agentic AI adoption and governance. G'day, Tom. How you doing?
G'day, Josh. Good. Going very well. How are you?
Good. If people can see the video, Tom is looking like David Attenborough. Where are you? In the jungle, in the garden at home? Where are you?
In the backyard.
Nice.
It's a lovely day here, a lovely autumn day in Melbourne. So making the most of it.
You're avoiding the school holiday, the children, the noisy children at home. Is that?
Only 2 more days to go.
Yeah. It's tough.
Anyway.
So we have had a bit of a break. Has been a longer break than normal between our last episodes because there's been a bit of school holidays, but we're back to our normal routine from here on. So if you were missing us, apologies.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
All right. News,
Josh. Do you want to go first? I suspect we're going to talk about the same things, but you jump in.
True. I'm pretty certain there's one you're going to do, but I will start with the HPE CEO Antonio Neri saying that elevated prices are going to persist well into 2027.
Yep.
So if you were thinking I'm going to hold off, bad luck, my friends. So he told the media that and analysts that rising memory prices, so they result in tough new measures, including the ability for HPE to reprice server orders until shipment. So you know what that means, Tom?
No.
It means you place an order today at a price.
Oh, no.
And if they don't,
they change
6
your
weeks
price.
later, they will. They will.
That's terrible.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yes. Nasty.
So, they won't reduce the price, though. They won't go, oh, yeah, it's lower. No. Josh is shaking his head there.
No.
So hang on. So I order it. I organise finance. I get CFO approval, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then the invoice comes through and says, surprise, it's gone up.
No, it's worse than that. Actually, no, I don't know if it's worse. They'll say, do you want us to ship your order to you? It's ready. However, the price will be, it was 20 grand. Now it's 28.
Yeah, right. So they basically hijack it.
That's they're saying, do you want us to ship it or do you want to cancel it?
Yeah, because we have 7 other people who want to buy it probably.
Yeah, well, there is a reality that the pricing is going up. So it's not just, it's not the Strait of Hormuz, holding people at a, at a gun to your head. They're doing it because their costs are going up. They're not doing it because they're... by the way, it's not just HPE.
It's everyone. That's what I was going to say.
I'm only noticing this because this was a news announcement from HPE. But I've never seen that before, Tom. I mean, you've been around a while. I've never seen that before.
Never ever. It's horrifying. It's absolutely... I mean, you hard enough to get these things approved anyway, right? And then after the price change at the end, it just destroys trust, right?
Yeah.
It destroys trust.
Imagine going back to the CFO. Sorry.
Yeah, fucked up.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
It's pretty bad. So just a couple more points. So DRAM and NAND are now making up over 50% of the bill of material cost of a server.
Chaos, isn't it, at the moment? Anything with DRAM seems to be a disaster zone.
One thing you did say is that, so a couple of things I thought that were interesting was that the networking business is insulated, so switching
I'm not hearing
all that sort of stuff.
I'm not hearing that from other suppliers.
Okay, well I am. I'm from HPE Aruba. I'm not seeing the price changing.
Okay,
so
good to know.
With respect, I don't like arguing with you, but I'm not.
I agree with you, but I just know from other suppliers. I'm hearing different stories. So
it's true. Cisco are definitely putting their price up, but Aruba has not moved.
Right.
So that is true, and they're saying it's had zero impact on demand, he said. Demand is very strong.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think people can delay their decisions, though, right?
Well, he's saying it's not. He's saying that the demand is strong and people are. It's not. It's not.
Fair enough.
He said it has zero impact on demand at this point in time. So people are buying, clearly.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe, whether it's driven by AI projects or whatever it is, I mean, people are clearly buying. Otherwise,
good news.
If no one was buying,
they wouldn't be able to do it, right?
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I said stuff that was 20 grand, particularly in the service space, is now 50 grand for exactly the same thing. So it's literally 2.5 times.
Unbelievable. I mean, the only good thing is the US dollar, Aussie dollar versus US seems to be climbing.
Yeah.
So that offsets some of your costs. Not enough, though.
Yeah, it's not so bad on PCs and laptops. It's probably a 30% increase, but yeah, servers and storage has been 30%. But servers and storage, we're talking 200 to 300%.
Yeah, wow.
And then the impact is, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, is just that we're seeing it's playing into Broadcom's favour. So people are, because you normally move hypervisors on a refresh.
Yeah.
So customers are going, well, it's going to be that expensive to replace the hardware. We'll renew Broadcom for another year and stick with our current hardware. We'll extend the maintenance because that's cheaper than buying new hardware and moving to Hyper-V or something else. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Unintended consequences.
Yeah, right. It's interesting to see what workloads are driving those demand as well. Like obviously traditional upgrades, I imagine they'll be delayed, but if people are doing more and exciting projects, they need more RAM, they need more compute, and you're shaking here. Is that what you're seeing on the ground? Is that what's driving projects?
Demand. Yeah, we're not seeing. I mean, there's definitely some customers who are going, I'm not buying that. I'm just going to extend my maintenance. There's definitely a bit of that, but some customers are like, no, we need to do it. We're just going to move it. It's going to get it done, and we cut. It doesn't look like. If your gear's 5 years old and you're not going to be able to get support, well, you're just gonna do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I guess underlying that is the business cases for some of these new projects are so strong.
Yeah,
they justify these costs, right?
Yeah,
and that's why things are going up in price because we're getting more value from compute at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, fascinating. I'm going to move on to the next news item. It's one of my old hobby horses here. It's quantum compute, Josh. So Google have got a new chip out. It's in research mode at the moment, but it's actually much further advanced than anyone thought. They reckon they can hack Bitcoin in 9 minutes. 9 minutes they can break Bitcoin encryption. But that's a fundamental problem for people holding Bitcoin right now. I would have thought if the whole I guess economic reason for Bitcoin disappears, that'd be quite interesting. But I mean, this quantum stuff is shifting, and they're sort of making a lot of breakthroughs at the moment. So when they talk about the massive demand for data centers, you can see that changing. Like there's going to be so much more condensed compute power. In the coming years. Not today, but yeah, the world will change. I think in the next couple of years as this stuff comes online. I've been talking about it for a long time, Josh.
That's not what I thought you were going to do, so I'm glad you didn't.
I know what you're going to do the next one. I can guarantee I know the next one.
Go on.
Are you going to talk about Anthropic's?
Yes.
Go on.
I thought you were going to do it.
Nah, you talk about it. Go on. No, everyone knows this anyway, all right? I mean, it's not hot news, but it's still worth talking about.
Yeah, because it's they think it's going to. What I want to talk about is it going to reshape cybersecurity, Tom? I think it might.
It's inevitable. If it's
we have to. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, obviously the news is that they've got a model that's so powerful it can find flaws in code that humans failed to find, and because it was so bloody good at its job, they said no, we can't let the world have this. But I mean, there's about 4 or 5 other competing companies who will be doing exactly the same thing as well. So, to your point, Josh, it is coming, right?
Yes. So the announcement I'm talking about is Project Glasswing from Anthropic. So that was a collaborative initiative. So with AWS, Apple, Broadcom, Cisco, CrowdStrike, Linux, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Palo. And because they've got a new model, the Mythos model, which is in preview, So it has reached a level of coding capability where it can surpass all but the most skilled humans at finding and exploiting software vulnerabilities. It has already found thousands of high-severity vulnerabilities, including some in every major OS and web browser, every single one. And it won't be long before capabilities proliferate, potentially beyond actors who are committed to deploying them safely. The fallout could be severe. So the whole purpose of this project is to put these capabilities for work as a defensive mechanism. So the launch partners will use it as part of their security framework. It's going to share it with all the industry. There's also 40 additional organizations that maintain critical software infrastructure who are going to use it. And they're committing, Anthropic is committing up to 100 million in usage credits for Mythos Preview across his efforts. So, and the reason they called it Glasswing, because it's a butterfly, which the metaphor is the transparent wings to let it hide in plain sight or to evade harm. So there you go. That was why they called it.
So this thing will find every flaw ever. Yeah. Does that mean security is now sorted out?
Does it mean security find every flaw? Yes. No, I mean it's going to make it worse because people are going to use it to find. Repeat the sentence. The answer is in your question. It's going to find every flaw.
Yeah, but then every flaw will be fixed, right?
It's not saying it's fixing. It's not saying it's fixing every vulnerability, Tom. And the other thing is it's a moving feast, right? Because it's not the software world is not static.
Yeah, you have to say that. But my first reaction was, oh my God, this is a disaster. But then my next reaction is, well, maybe this makes us all a bit safer.
Yeah, hopefully. But again, there's two sides to the coin for sure.
In the short term, whatever that short term is, 2 to 5 years, like there's going to be every flaw in your platform, your infrastructure will be exploitable.
Well, the cybersecurity stocks took a big hit as a result of this, but I think the fact that most of the major cyber vendors are involved in this means it's going to be collaborative, and they'll end up baking it in, you would think, eventually into their products. And but again, there's going to be that's their model. There's going to be the dark models that we've spoken about previous. So it's going to, the battle will continue. It's just stronger and more powerful.
It's not the flaws.
Weapons.
It's not the flaws in the computer that are the problem, are they? It's the flaws in the humans at the other end of the computer. That's where the problems are.
That's right.
And AI ain't going to fix that overnight.
No. No. All right, over to you.
Look, my only other news is that there's just more and more research supporting this concept of the cost of code approaching zero. So it was on the fringe a couple of years ago, people saying to identify this, but it's starting to get real traction now. Obviously in February, it had a bit of a moment in the stock market, but now, very much mainstream. I'm starting to see this with some of my clients now that this concept that code is essentially free. Now, obviously, everyone who listens to this podcast would be going, "No, you idiot! It's not free. What about the maintenance and like the user time?"
We literally did. If your memory is short, we literally did a whole podcast episode on this topic.
I know. I do remember that one, and I've actually had a few questions about that as well. People have gone, hang on, but the news today is this is accelerating. That's more and more mainstream support for that world, and they're going to lead into our conversation today, right, about the agentic world.
Definitely.
Josh, any more news from you, my friend?
Yeah, this is going to be quick. It's more FYI. So, as of yesterday, April 15, Microsoft removed Copilot Chat from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote from unlicensed users for companies that had more than 2,000 M365 licenses. So, in December, it sort of appeared for free. So, if you have more than 2,000 licenses, that is now gone. Smaller organizations are going to have deprioritized access during peak demand. So, at some point, that nice free in inverted commas thing you got is now disappeared. Now, the other thing quickly is that the Microsoft price increases that are coming in July confirmed, and the one thing that is the grace periods have been eliminated.
Right.
So what that means, in the past, if you didn't renew your subscription on time, you had a 30-day buffer period.
Oh, God.
Where the service ran for free.
Yes.
While you sorted out your approvals. That is now gone. So what happens is, if you, on the next day, you move to automatically to buy the month pricing, which is like 80% more than the annual pricing. So that loophole has now been closed. So I just thought that was just an FYI around things that are coming up. So the message is, don't wait, get it sorted out.
Yeah. Are they hard up for money, Microsoft? What are they doing this for?
Definitely.
Making their customers life harder.
Yeah.
Great. That's it. There's the Copilot thing's interesting. Like, there's a lot of competition for other AI out there. I don't know. Is that what you're hearing? Yeah, you're shaking your head. So everyone is talking not about Copilot. They're talking about Claude, right?
Yes,
we're all using Claude, right? So
using Claude, yeah.
The fact that Microsoft are making it harder to get access to their solution is interesting, right?
I don't know if they have all the compliance and the governance and whatever else. So, all right, now talking about that. So today's topic we're discussing, I'll just set it up. So it's about agentic AI adoption and governance. So this is becoming more mainstream. So the question is no longer how do we adopt it, but how do we do it correctly and with the right foundations in place. So what we're going to cover today is where do you start, how to engage the business, how to pick the right use cases, and how you're going to govern it moving forward. So that's that's pretty much what we want to talk about. So where to start? So research, so Gartner, McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, MIT, so 80% of AI pilots fail to scale into production because of lack of delivering of measurable business value. However, the pressure to do AI has never been higher. So what's the mindset that puts you in the top 20%? So leading with we need to do AI is not good. It has to be, we need to modernize our processes and products at this time, and we might use AI for some of it, right? So rather than we just need to do AI, that's more,
it's a bit silly, right? It's a bit
theatre and posturing to start with, as far as where to start. So, Tom, over to you. Do you want to give us a few points, and I'll do a few points about where do we start?
Yeah. It always comes back to business case, right? So, so where are you going to get a return on investment? So where are you going to make things cheaper? Where are you going to reduce friction? Where are you going to demonstrably demonstrate cost savings back into your shareholders, your CFO? That's number one. The next one is, how can you improve the experience for your customer base? So how do you reduce friction? One of my favorite terms at the moment. How can AI reduce friction within your existing processes? And then the third one, what can we do to open up our market to get new customers coming in? And it's all about business language, right, Josh? It's not about, let's talk about models and AI and blah, 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 Anthropic. And no, let's talk about the business and where the opportunities are to make the business more efficient.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. It's got to be aligned to business case. So we have mentioned before, so having that sort of maturity framework, which includes, as you said, strategy and vision, so aligning it to business strategy, making sure you've got the architecture, the technical architecture in place before you start running out and deploying things. Getting your data, cybersecurity, management, monitoring, working out what you're going to do. Are you going to build? Are you going to buy? How you're going to do responsible AI before you run out. So that's the counterpoint to what you were saying earlier about code is free. Well, yes, but you need to have these things in place first.
The architecture piece is really, really important, right? And I've seen this a few customers where their architecture is just a mess, frankly, and then they throw in AI over a mess. It doesn't pay. Like, you've got to get your house in order first. Can't stress that enough. And people get really upset because they just want to start doing stuff. But you've got to do a bit of homework, right?
Well, today we're gonna give people answers, Tom, about what they need to do. So, and the other thing is the way product development is delivered with agents is the 40-20-40 rule. So 40% of the time is getting your data and security in order.
Yeah, right.
20% is the actual build and deploying, and then 40% is teaching people to use it and driving adoption.
Yes.
Rather than everyone just wants to do the 20% in the middle, and getting the data in order is about 60 to 70% of the effort. So I don't think many people are following that.
No one is.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. They're doing the bare minimum for the data and the bare minimum for user adoption.
Yeah.
Putting all their eggs in the build. But yeah, it doesn't work.
No. So, and then also it's sort of working out what are you going to do? Like what is an agent, right? There's sort of there's automation, there's old school automation. There's an AI workflow, and then there's an autonomous agent. So there's sort of three things. So if you need sort of highly deterministic, if it's a workflow that if you do this, do that, that is an automation.
Yeah, that's right.
That is an old school automation, and you can use it. You can use an agent to do that, and then it's just following a very structured workflow. That is old school automation, but now it can be definitely improved using AI. And then, but when it's sort of non-deterministic, that's where an agent would be used. So I think the first thing is really working out, what sort of autonomy you're going to give these agents, and then what's the right tool for the task that we're doing. And then the other point that we made around getting started is the platform first, right? Getting the core platform first, even though the early workloads are going to be more expensive, but you're setting yourself up so you can run faster moving forward. And then the other one is being able to fail, having experimentation. So pick 8 to 10 things, sit with the business, expect 1 in 3 wins, and then really, work out who's going to do it, what tools are we going to do, what are the success criteria, and then that sort of win or learn, but not to expect everything to work all the time. And so that's why you really need to get the business buy-in on, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try some things, and but not everything is going to work, but if we can get 1 in 3, that can really move our business forward. So that's sort of the starting point. Tom, what are your thoughts on any of that?
There's a couple of big things there, I think, about getting the business involved, engaged all the way through the process. And particularly if you know that, look, these are experiments, right? So they may well go wrong. Therefore, we need humans in the loop to check and verify and validate throughout the process. But by getting people in your organization, you actually get their buy-in engagement anyway. So it's actually a really good idea to have people embedded within your AI processes and not start off with full automation, end-to-end AI only type processes. No one trusts those at the moment, right?
No.
So we had a really good example where we're taking emails in, determining what kind of request it was, looking up some relevant data, and then presenting it back to like help desk type people, like service desk people. Say, hey, this email, we've enriched this email. This is what we reckon. What do you think? As opposed to saying, here's an email, we know exactly what to do, and we're going to do it, and that's gone. And by doing that, we've engaged everyone. And then everyone comes back with all their new ideas on how they can improve the process as well. So, and I'm sure people are doing that, right? But it really, really pays off when you engage people in the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think also is where organisations treating AI adoption like digital transformation, where you roll out the technology and then you expect people to adapt and work it out later on. That's not that. There's a lot of fear. And fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So we need to bring people along. And then the other one is you've got to have business and technical involved from the start. You can't just have, because if it's just the technology teams, then it's going to be a solution looking for problems. So everyone needs to be, needs to have, cross-functional teams. And then the leaders, the C-level people, need to be involved. And I saw this presentation where they said when you're doing demo days, the CEO needs to go first and demo what they're doing. If they go first, then everyone feels better about it.
Yep.
And things like we're starting to do that in our business now, sort of prompts library. So among the teams, so having team level, hey, this is what we're using. There's so many cool things, in our sales team. Sort of daily, we've got one who's doing a daily scrape of Reddit, like what people are talking about, all the relevant topics online, and then sending us every morning, like what's the market, what are the top 3 things that technical people are looking at. Like that's just an example of. So something, if someone's gone, hey, I'm doing that. Hey, let's do this, or what we're seeing out there. So there's lots of. It's just an example of then teams doing that, having things that are relevant to them, and then driving that adoption and making it visible, and being very positive about it. So and also, as you said, linking AI to business outcomes, so speed, cost savings, customer compliance,
risk reduction,
all those.
exactly, compliance.
Yeah, and governance has to be built in from the start. It can't be a retrospective add-on to try and sort of put governance back in. I think that's a big issue. Is no one wants to talk about governance.
That's very true.
And the issue is that the EU AI laws are already in action. We've mentioned them before. They're already there. So 7% of annual revenue type fines, all that sort of stuff.
Massive fines if you stuff it up, right?
Yeah.
Same with data security, data protection, right? Personal data type issues as well. They don't go away. None of that actually goes away.
Yeah. So it has teeth, and you can't just wing it. And let's get back to selecting the right use cases. So what have you got? Are there particular use cases that you think are more suitable, less suitable? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing now, right, is where you move away from basic automation, as you talked about before, and this is where you lean into what the language models can actually do, right? So they can interpret a human and extract some data, and then reinterpret back out into human language again. And that's where I find the gold is, where you've got a particular business process used to involve humans communicating with humans. But now you can start to go, well, I've got this request in, I've got some sort of human language type thing. I can now extract data out of that stuff. And that opens the door, that pattern opens the door to a whole bunch of interesting and crazy processes, right? So, for example, working with one customer who was dealing with like generic complaints in the process. So I won't say who they were or what they do, but I mean, they basically have complaints rolling through the process. It's one of those like high touch type things. So be able to actually filter through the complaint, pull together all the information associated with that, and then empower the human who has to respond to the complaint. So they're fully empowered when they pick up the phone. So they can then focus on being empathetic and useful, as opposed to, I'm back for, I'll take your call, write a note and get back to you. Really reducing the speed to get back and be able to turn around the whole situation in that instance. So the human language to data, back to human type space is really interesting, Josh.
Yeah. So I have lots of points I want to make there. We're doing work with using Microsoft Fabric. So once you've set up the data lake and having the ability, creating data agents where people can ask questions of their data rather than having to go and get a report. So that's something we're doing with customers in our data team at the moment.
It goes down really well.
Really exciting.
Yeah, when you sell that as like, I'm empowering staff, like that, instead I'm replacing staff, which everyone hates and really gets really angry about. So I'm actually empowering staff to do more, do their job a lot faster than they used to.
Well, instead of having to go to someone and do me a report on old data, they can go and you can embed the agent in Teams. They can go and ask a question. They can turn it into a Power BI dashboard, and then ask more questions. Like that's 10 years ago or 5 years ago, that was voodoo magic. Like that was impossible to do. So I think firstly it's really picking picking the use case. So thinking, not starting with high impact, high risk with those massive workloads. That might be later, but some quick wins. So high impact, low complexity, and then making sure there's the value lens of, time, cost, revenue, risk. There has to be something in there, not it's cool isn't one of the four. I'm just saying. It's just one of the and doing things that humans cannot do at scale. So things like claims management, accounts payable automation, IT service desk, customer service, contract review, like all that sort of stuff is really useful for agent.
Look, I think the other one that people love is removing boring admin work from their job. So if it's like, every month I have to do this really tedious and boring job, it takes a whole day for me to do that, and there's about 10 of us doing that shitty job as well. Like that, they're the goal. And those things, like, we'll gather some information from a whole bunch of different systems, apply some logic or thinking to it, and then put it into another system. Like it's those really tedious but essential jobs that you can. People will hug you when you do them properly. Do you know what I mean? They thank you for doing that. And you save time, you reduce rework and error as well. So really strong business cases.
So I saw, talking about business case, some decision frameworks. So working out, looking at sort of through the lens of experience. So who's going to use it, where's it going to use, what the value is. With the agents, what can they do? What's the handoff? What tools are in scope? What's it allowed to connect to? What data is it going to use? And then have we defined observability, English language, observability, governance, security up front before, moving forward. So I think that's, and then thinking about, some things are low risk, or we don't have to have a very high governance lens on it because it's not that risky. The data it's not using, it might be, something that's, so we can do that quite quickly. And then other things that are more skilled, maybe we'll leave that till later because that's going to be really, a lot more difficult to do from a governance and security point of view. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. The governance piece is quite interesting. I don't know if you want to go into that now or...
No, it's like governance is segment 5, but I'm happy to skip around.
No, keep going. Keep going through your agenda.
Sorry, Tom. I'm trying to provide a little bit of structure. I'm joking. Some governance to our, which is surprising for me because you wouldn't expect that from me, would you, Tom? So I know you're going to be passionate about this one. So looking at agents, not just AI. So there's three. I see there's 3 choices. Platform agents, so activating agents within the platforms you use. So in M365, in Salesforce, in ServiceNow. So do you do those, which are fastest time to value, and you can govern with your existing licenses? Second one is bespoke off the shelf. So there's going to be agents you can buy that do very specific tasks. When the use cases, so for example, Harvey for legal is an example, right? Or coding tools, where the vendor's expertise is going to be very niche and will exceed yours, or custom, build your own using Foundry and Chain, or using any of the sort of those coding tools that you were talking about before. So that those are the options, right? It's the old buy or build, but there's a little bit more nuance. Do you use the ones in your platform? Do you buy something bespoke off the shelf, or do you do a custom?
Well, this has changed, this conversation. So I would have been, just buy it, right? Someone else has sorted out all your problems.
Yes.
It would look a bit more expensive, but just buy it. But now I've completely changed, I have to say, and people will be throwing things at me at this point. But
you know why? Do you know why you've changed, Tom?
You tell me, Josh.
Because you're no longer in end user land. That's why.
Right.
If you're a customer, you'd be white hair, fucking hair all over the place, stressed. No way. I'm building. I've got to manage it. Who's going to manage it?
Building has changed, my friend.
Yes.
Building, and you really need to think about this. Building is, as I said before, the cost of code is significantly. The proposition of building your own on existing tool sets. I mean, don't go build it from Fortran upwards.
Yeah.
But, I mean, using platforms that already exist and then creating something that is dynamically purpose-built for your environment is really interesting.
Let's talk it through. So the option 1, platform agent. So when when do you use it, right? Let's work through it. So when Copilot, M365 Copilot agents, you can log in. There's a research agent in there. There's a data agent. So really good for personal, document automation, meetings, email drafting. Problem is it's limited to your personal data. Then you've got Copilot Studio, so it's low code, pretty good, very good if you're in the Microsoft stack. Salesforce, Agentforce, so it's got lots of custom workflows in there. Dynamics, and then ServiceNow. All right. I'm just,
But for people in those spaces, and they can do it quickly, they can create their little crazy agents or whatever. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we've said Microsoft released 13 agents in their Dynamics platform, so you don't have to build it. Yes, you have to configure it. There is work for configuring for you, but that is done. Customer support, watching, social media for you, like that is all done. Like there is value. Like as far as where do you start, that's probably a good place to start.
Absolutely, and the ability to get a result super quick and be reliable, and the quality is always there. So absolutely, Josh, you're spot on there.
All right. So off-the-shelf bespoke agents, legal AI, coding agents, financial compliance.
Domain specific.
So the numbers, they're saying specialists succeed approximately 67% of the time versus 22% for internal builds.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm talking to a sort of end user of that legal AI stuff, and they're like, bloody hell, we have to do this. We're not going to build our own. That's stupid. We need to buy something.
Yeah. So when the use case is well-defined, domain-specific, as we've said, and the vendor's depth of expertise exceeds yours and speed to value matters, you would get something off the shelf.
Yes.
Things you need to think about is your data isolated? What sort of data residency guarantees do you have? What is governance like? Can be integrated into our environment? Is the pricing per seat, per conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Is it getting, one
per token?
8,000, 50,000 a month, without looking at it. By the way, Claude can get you for that. By the way,
they all can, mate.
I've been bitten on that. Okay, but that's off the. There is definitely, from an agent point of view, there is use for that. All right, now, Tom, custom build. Tom, here you go. When you need
reassess everything.
Nobody. Yes. So where the custom, but this is agents, not workplace, by the way. So the agent is core to your competitive differentiation or your IP. You have a workflow that is specific that, no one else has done it. You can't get it 80% off the shelf, and you have the internal expertise to do it.
Yes, true.
All right.
It's true.
Okay. Now back to you, Tom. Argue with me, please. Let's go.
Well, the cost of doing custom has changed. So that, as I keep saying, just reconsider that, and the value of customizing is changed as well. So if you can create a bespoke solution for your staff, you minimize the change impact and maximize the value quicker. It pays off, right? So
if your data preparation, as we said, 40-20, if you can get your data preparation done,
vital.
If the ongoing cost, maintenance, retraining, that 65% of the cost is ongoing management.
Security, maintainability, you've still got to have all those skills in place. It's all very important.
Thank you.
But there's a big chunk of that world, and the ability to change this space is huge, right?
It is definitely. So what we're saying is that the consensus is hybrid. So activate platform agents first, specialist agents when you need the domain expertise, and build where it's competitive differentiation. For example, the agents I was talking about, data agents, operation agents, custom stuff where, security, where you're able to deliver the security and governance that you need.
And it's amazing because I used to say, what are we doing differently? Why are we doing this different? Like, why are we doing a bespoke version of this when it has nothing to do with our point of difference as an organization? But it turns out that there's a very nuanced conversation around why things are done differently in every organisation. And I newfound respect for that, to be honest with you, Josh. It's actually, you've got to respect that we do things differently here. And there's always a different way to skin every cat, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know what? Organisations are different because of the way they work. So it's quite interesting to understand that.
All right. My the next piece is overcoming reluctance to change.
Yeah, well, yes. Again, I can blabber on about this for ages, but when you give people something better than what they had the day before, there's no discussion around change management. If you get a brand new fancy car, do you complain that no one's trained you on that car? No, you're just very happy. If you get a shit system, you will complain about training.
Unless you're worried about the car taking your job.
That's right. So if people perceive that they're taking away something or making their life harder, they will complain about training and change management, blah, blah, blah. You give them something that's more useful than what they had the day before, they want to go to training. They just want to start using it.
That's
right. It really comes down to that.
So I think it's leadership can't frame AI as replacing tasks or roles. That is the wrong way. We're enhancing and improving your work.
Augmenting people.
And you have to redesign your workflows, not overlay AI on your existing workflows. So I think that's sort of the other way. And then it's things like adoption programs, hands-on sessions, the leader demonstrating first for psychological safety, as I was talking about. Get the CEO to do first what he's doing. Prompt galleries, tech days, lunch and learns. Really bringing people on the journey.
Yeah, well, you know what, and there's a range of different people in every organisation, and people we listen to these things that we're on the leading edge of. We get technology, we understand it, we don't value the training, but there's a bunch of people in every organisation that they really appreciate it. They really appreciate someone helping them get through this and adopt, and it's really important to remember that, Josh. It's actually what you say is quite important.
So things like finding a specific sentence in a 70-page document. You don't want to do that. Use an agent to do that. Moving data from one table to the other. Do that, or explain a code base in English, or generating JIRA tickets from team transfer. Like these are all really good use cases. And then governance, right? So the whole citizen developer thing, which you're talking about, how do we manage it? So this is all around moving into governance. So how are we going to govern these? So scaling from 10 to 1,000 agents and still have insight, control, and trust. So how do we do that, right? That's the question, right? The $1 million question. Yeah. So from a governance point of view, if you don't mind, there's 4 levels. There's identity, observability, control, and governance. I'll just explain what they are, and then I will give the Microsoft tool, given we're a Microsoft shop. No, that does this thing. So identifiable. So you need to register all your agents that exist. So it needs a unique identifier, like a user in Active Directory. So that was intra-agent ID that was released. There's got to be an inventory tracking of who owns it, what the purpose is, what the scope is, and what the platform is for the agent. Agents built in M365 Copilot and Copilot Studio are automatically registered for you within intra-agent ID. Foundry and third-party agents require manual registration. So you need to manually register those, but the others will go straight. So the tools are Agent 365, which were announced at in October last year. Intra-agent ID and Foundry control plane are giving you that registration and identity. The level 2 is observability, to be able to see what they do. So automatic detection of risky agent behavior. Different stakeholders getting different views. So IT admins need one view, business owners need another view, security teams need least privilege enforcement. So how do we do that? Agent-to-agent communication. What are the rules? So things, again, Agent 365, intra-agent ID, and Foundry control plane are there. So Microsoft is, why they're doing well is they've come with the enterprise play, right? Claude doesn't have that at this point.
No.
Controllable. So what are the guardrails? So how are you going to define the guardrails? So administrative and builder guardrails. So naming standards, pre-approved connectors, template guardrails, guidance on connectors. So things like Foundry guardrails, Copilot guardrails, these are tools in M365. Intra ID and Purview will give you that, and then how to govern it. So a centralized authority who defines who builds, who manages agents, enforces your policies, controls the life cycle. So all these things need to be done. So again, Agent 365, Foundry control plane, and intra permissions can do all that. So those are the things people need to think about when deploying these agents from governance point of view, and Microsoft is well set up and come to market pretty much ready to go with these things.
Very good.
It's not exciting, but those things need to be done.
This is what the adult in the room does, right? And that is the CIO. You make sure these things happen. Everyone else is running around trying to show off their crazy agent they built. For someone to say, hey, guys, we need to work on a consistent platform. We need security is very important, reliability, performance, observability. I've got one horror story for you, Josh.
Yes.
Around what happens when you don't do this. So someone was showing me the leave bot thing that they created that says, you just tell it you're going on leave, and blah, blah, blah. Great. And then can I ask it how much people are getting paid? And you could. they use the HR admin access API to write the thing.
Yeah.
But exposed a whole bunch of sensitive information. I didn't really think about that, right? Because they're users, are single-minded, but just exposed everyone's pay to everyone's. Please. I mean, so then that's why you've got to do this, right? You've got to make sure these bots are fit for purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to what you were saying earlier about, code is free. No, it's not. Code might be free, but governance costs, security costs.
Intelligence is expensive, man.
Yes. Code. I love that. Love that. All right. Shall we sum it up?
Please.
All right. So the key takeaways are the framing is everything. So not we need to do AI, it's we need to modernize, and we're going to get AI to help. Secondly, 80% of AI pilots fail because they skip the data foundations, the 40-20-40 rule, right? 40% upfront on the data and security, 20% on builds, 40% on adoption and governance. Leaders need to be inside the tent from day one. Bring the business along, align it to your strategy, right? Pick 3 to 5 measurable bets. Don't try and do everything. Pick things that are going to actually deliver value. Then what type you're going to do. So platform agents might be a good place to start because they're already in the platforms. We're using specialist agents where there's a domain expertise need and custom for genuine differentiation. Design adoption programs. Don't fight resistance. Just, positively move adoption in your business. Governance is critical. Gartner predicts loss of control will be the Fortune 1000's top concern by 2028.
Right.
Loss of agent control.
Yep. There you go.
And then every agent should be identifiable, observable, controllable, and governable from day one.
Yeah, good point.
There you go, Tom.
Wait, that's value. Value for free, Josh. Well done.
Exactly.
That's excellent.
Exactly. So what's next, Tom? Are you going to go look at some gorillas in the
As I'll get my machete out
in the jungle,
hack my way through the metaphor for IT and agents.
Yes,
you know what?
Yes.
Well, every conversation is agents at the moment, Josh. I'm sure you're hearing the same thing. Help us get these agents under control.
That's why we thought this was a good topic.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a dynamic landscape at the moment. It's I don't know what you're saying out there, but everyone I'm talking to is like, they just can't do enough. And they're doing way too much at the same time. It's a crazy space.
Yeah. Stop, take space, take stock, and follow some of the guidelines. Oh, that was really good, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you.
As always, and thank you everyone out there for listening. Hope you got some value out of the podcast. You can reach out to Tom and I on LinkedIn. If you need assistance with your agent strategy, go to Tom, Deployment Management, come to me. And good luck out there with your AI journeys. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.